we continue looking at inverse functions. This is what we did earlier, all right? This was an example where we had a function and found the inverse. We put in a number, got out an answer. That answer, we put in a number in the function and got an answer out. That function. That answer that came out, we put it into the inverse. And what we got out was the original number, right? Now, let's look at another example of a function and its inverse. Let me erase my chalk here and my function. Another example. Let's say we have our function f of x equals, and I have 2x minus 3. I have 2x minus 3. Now, I want to find f inverse of x. And then I want to find f inverse of 7. Now, based on what was done earlier, what I want you to do at this time is to pause the video, calculate the inverse of this function and the f inverse 7 as well. And let me see what you got. So go ahead and do that now. Pause. Alright, you pause the video and you found f inverse of x and f inverse of 7. Now, what did you get for f inverse of x? Let's go through the working and see what you got. F inverse of x. Remember the steps? Step 1. Write it as y equal. So in this case, getting our inverse function, what we have, instead of f of x equal, I have y equal 2x minus 3. Then, step 2. We interchange x and y. We change x to y and y to x. So we have x equals 2y minus 3. Then, step 3. We make y the subject of the equation. So you have to practice your transposition skills, right? Build up your transposition skills for this part. So here, in transposing, we want y equal and everything else over that side, or the other side. Now we have to get rid of our 3, our minus 3, and get rid of our 2. It would make life a lot easier to get rid of the minus 3 first, and then get rid of the 2, so you have y alone equal when you're transposing. Here, if we have something minus 3, and we want to get rid of that minus 3, we add 3. So you add 3 to both sides, you're going to have x equals 2y minus 3. We add 3 over here to get rid of the 3, plus 3. Negative 3 plus 3 is 0, so you don't have to worry about this 3 anymore. Whatever you do on the right, you do on the left also. We add 3 to the right. You are off balance, so you must add 3 to the left as well. So you have plus 3. Let's just erase this for now. Get rid of it. Now, what we have is 2y. X plus 3 equals 2y. 2 times y. What do we do to get rid of the 2 and get y alone? We divide by 2. Divide by 2. We divide the right by 2, we must divide the left by 2. We're maintaining balance here. So 2 cancels 2. So what we have is y equals x plus 3 over 2. We're accustomed to writing y equals or x equals when the x or y is on the left. So let's switch these sides around. Put the y on the left. Y equals, and then on the right we have x plus 3 all over 2. Then step 4. Step 4, what we do is change y to f inverse of x, because we find the inverse now. So f inverse of x equals x plus 3 over 2. Nice. So we have our f inverse of x. Let's write it down here. F inverse of x equals x plus 3 divided by 2. Let's get rid of these. We need a space. We should write this down in a notebook, all right, to remember the steps that we take in getting the inverse function. Let's erase these things here. Now we want f of 7. F of 7. So now that we have our inverse, and we know that f inverse of x is equal to x plus 3 over 2, f inverse of 7 now. Let's get rid of the x because it's not f inverse of x anymore. It's 7 that we should use. Oh, this x is there too. Get rid of this x and put 7 there. Replace x with 7. 7 plus 3 over 2, which is 10 over 2, which is 5. So our f inverse of 7 is 5. Now, let's see what happens here. We had put in 7 and got out 5. We can check if this really works. If we put 7 into the inverse and got out 5, then we should be able to put 5 into the function and get out 7. The function is f of x equals 2x minus 3. That's our original function. When we found the inverse, we put in 7 and got 5. Let's put the 5 into the original and see if we get 7. 2 times 5 minus 3. 2, 5, 10 minus 3 equals 7. Good. Basically, what happens is that we put a number into the function and we get out. Let me erase this. We put a number into the function and we get out an answer. If we put the answer into the inverse, we get out the number, original number. So let's try something here now. And by the way, were these what you got? If these were the answers you got, then congratulations, good, you got that correct. If not, you need to practice this thing some more. Now, the inverse of the function, f inverse of x, was 2x minus 3. What am I doing? The inverse of the function was x plus 3 over 2. Good. So, that's what we have. Let's erase these now that you know your f inverse of x and your f inverse of 7. If you put a number into the function, you get an answer. Let's put in comes what number you want? Any number. Let's put in 6 into the function. and out comes what? When we put 6 into the function, we say let x equal 6. When x is 6, we find f of 6 is 2 times 6 minus 3. 2, 6, 12. 12 minus 3 is 9. So out comes 9. Good. We put in 6 and got out 9. Into the function, we put 6 and we got out 9. Let's put 9 into the inverse and see what would happen. In comes 9 into the inverse. So we have f inverse of 9 is equal to 9 plus 3 all over 2. 9 and 3 is 12. 12 divided by 2 is 6. And out comes 6. So you see, we're reversing what happened. So in this case, we put in 6 and got out 9. And in this case, we put in 9 and got out 6. So these numbers are switching position. Alright? 6 first, 6 second, 9 first, 9 second, comes 9 first. So we switch the 6 and the 9. If we put in the input and output like this, we're switching around the 6 and 9. So basically, if you have two numbers, A and B, the function works on A and get out B. The inverse of the function will work on B and get out A. So you're switching around these numbers. So the inverse function does the reverse of the original function. So that's what we have here. Alright? We have the inverse. We have the function takes an input and get an output. The inverse takes the output of the function and gets an input. Good. But remember, very important for you to remember the steps that you take. Go back and remember those steps. You write as y equal. You interchange x and y. Then you make y the subject. And then, when you make y the subject, you write f inverse of x. Alright? I'm mixing it up with the other writings, but just a reminder, because at each step you need to remind yourself that that is what you're going to do. In exam, when you are asked to write the inverse of a function, you need to remember these steps. So at each point, you need to memorize and remember that these are the steps you take. Alright, so I'll see you in the next video.